Hey, what's going on YouTube? Been a little while. This is this came as an extra in a trade, I believe. And I took some of the decals that I got from the Eno 64. Was like, well, that's an EF9. This is an EF9. Might as well see what works. Eyebrow, pretty much perfect. Fits this better than it fits the car it came with. And then not much else, just the Civic, No Good Racing, Primo, JDM. And then I did do another EF9 license plate here. Yeah, it's like, might as well put it all to good use. And this is a car that I don't like. If I mess something up on this, I don't care as much. So, and I think it looks a lot better. Spoon. I think it came out pretty good though. I like it. So there's that. All right. Got some cars out. I'll start with these. Thinking about selling this pair of Greenlight Fox bodies. So if any of you are interested, holler at me on Instagram. These are pretty tough to find. I'd prefer to sell them as a pair. I suppose I would sell them individually, but get a better price if you buy both. Both of them are loose mint, no issues, no casting flaws, no offset bases or anything like that. Um, they're older. They're older Greenlight cars, although neither of them have the green post. But this is older Greenlight build quality, so definitely nice cars, highly detailed, hard to find. Probably, if I were to sell them individually, probably like 22 a piece. And then as a pair, I don't know, 35 bucks or something like that. So if you're interested, let me know. If not, no big deal. And I just got some random cars out just to look at and some hitch and tow stuff. But here's a newer Greenlight casting that I haven't really, I don't know, I think I might have only looked at this once, maybe twice on the channel. But Greenlight has, they've just added so much awesome stuff to their catalog. And this is definitely not an exception. The Lincoln Continental, a pretty, I don't know if I'd say rare. There's a decent amount of Greenlight castings that do have lensed headlights. I'm actually kind of curious. I bet it's probably around maybe 20% of their entire catalog. Might be higher than that. Because all the half-ton late model pickups have them. All the Volkswagens have them. Or not all the Volkswagens, most of them. Tons of Ford casting. Yeah, it might be higher than 20%. It's probably not half. But this one does, and not a lot of the newer castings have had lens headlights because they're trying to configure the tooling in such a way that you can do different model years. And that's really hard to do with transparent lens headlights. Actually, it probably isn't all that hard to do. It could be done because I'm sure this one, even this one has an insert grill and it has transparent lens headlights. So you just have to design the insert in such a way that calls for the lens headlights. But anyways, this Lincoln Continental is awesome. I like the Johnny Lightning Continental, but just not as nice as this, and it's also not as scale accurate. And that is a great looking classic automobile. All right, what else did I bring out here? About this Chevy C10. I really didn't bring the truck out to look at. I brought it out as a tow vehicle for this awesome Airstream, because this came from the Hitched homes and didn't come with a tow vehicle. And I was gonna take the hitch off of the Bronco here and put it on the Dodge Ram, because I would think this Ram would be an awesome tow vehicle for that. But the hitch just doesn't quite fit this right. Now this is equipped to take a hitch. Not all the pickups are. Sometimes they'll put a hitch compatible base on it, and other times they don't. But I love this Airstream. It's just killer. Do need to lift the trailer jack though. So much detail in this, and it's just an awesome casting. It's one of only two. You know, I've bought very few of the Hitch homes, because most of them I've gotten in hitch and tows. But this one I don't think has shown up in the Hitch and Tow series yet. But like, here's an example of one that did. This did show up in, I think it's series 2, and this came with the green Dodge Monaco, or Dodge Royal Monaco. It didn't come with the Bronco. The Bronco here came with a little utility trailer. But I like this Bronco because it's a really nice stock deco, and it goes good with the Bambi Airstream. And it's a great tow vehicle because of its size. It's very versatile, very maneuverable. And the trucks, you know, they're great for pulling these big heavy trailers, but don't quite maneuver as agile as some of the smaller tow vehicles. I like this Ram though. Something to be said for a nice civilian deco pickup truck, or, you know, any casting really. There's kind of an odd combination for you. Sure, you can tell this top Doesn't go to this release, although it is interchangeable. It's not the best fit though. You can see a little gap there in the top. Here is, I don't think I've shown this one on this new layout. Ram Charger police truck. This thing is awesome. From Hollywood Hitch and Tow. I forget what series it was, but the Dodge Ram Charger, one of my favorite Greenlight toolings. It's in my top 5. I think it's actually in my top 3. It might actually even be in my top 2. I definitely love this casting. I thought about gluing this down. But, yep, really awesome looking. Kind of next level compared to the Johnny Lightning K5 Blazer and second gen Bronco police trucks that they make. In fact, stand by real quick. I have one right over here. I'll just grab real quick. We can kind of compare it. I never did get the K5 Blazer, but I did get the Bronco. And the only reason I got this is because I found it in the wild. Thought about buying the Blazer, but I don't know. Anyways, I think the Greenlight is a pretty significant step above the Johnny Lightning. Although technically this is a Racing Champs release. Johnny Lightning tooling. But they both look really good. The light bar is definitely nicer on the Greenlight. It's a transparent lens light bar. This one is not. Wheels and tires, very subpar on the Racing Champs. Stance is questionable. The deco is nice, and the detail is very nice. And it's kind of cool to have a, you know, a nice licensed CHP livery. But the wheels, they're just bad. But here, this is from the movie Terminator, so it's the Metropolitan Police Department, which is, somebody said it's based off the LAPD deco, but I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't know what the LAPD deco looks like, but I can say with 100% certainty that it definitely resembles the California Highway Patrol. In fact, the entire deco looks just like the California Highway Patrol, with the exception of the shield. But just overall better execution, better stance, better detail, better scale accuracy, better proportions. And I don't know, that's just kind of my take on it. One thing to keep in mind, these two vehicles are the same price point at retail, at about $5.99 a piece. Although this one came in the Hitch and Tow, or the Hollywood Hitch and Tow, so it's going to be a lot higher than that. But if this were released in the Hot Pursuit, these would be the same price point. And for the price point, there's definitely no question which one is better. But I still like both. They're still both worth having. The top on the Ford is not made to come off. I thought about taking one off and doing a little custom, but it would require it would require a lot. Because, see, the thing is, I don't know. I can't tell. I think that the top here is part of the casting. But I can't tell for sure because there are signs that make it look like it's not. But what I can tell you is that the windows are all one piece. And if you were going to do a custom for a removable top, it would take a lot of cutting. And I'm sure it could be done, but I don't believe this is like the International Scout where the top is removable. Or like this Ford Bronco, which also has a removable top. Although you don't want to take it off because you'll ruin the casting if you do. Because in this case, the windshield, I'm pretty sure, is part of that top. Because this Bronco has a whole bunch of different configurations. So I really wish Greenlight would do this casting. And let's see here. The opening hood. Well, detailed engine there. Not great detail, but definitely detail. Let's see what we got with the Ram Charger. Well, let's try the other one. Well, it's going to take two hands. Neither one of these hoods want to open. Huh. That's weird. Well, sorry, I can't get it open. I don't have my hobby knife with me here. So, but judging off of everything else that Greenlight does compared to Racing Champs and Johnny Lightning, I just assume that the engine is more detailed on the Ram Charger. Also, selling this Kyosho Ferrari and Kyosho Honda City for anyone that's interested in those. This is an awesome stock deco on this. Just wish that they released it with the top. Kind of wish this one had a tow hitch. And see, this is something else that they didn't do on this release. And same thing with the Baja Ram Charger. They don't have roll bars. So it's like you either get the roll bar and no top, or you get the top with no roll bar. On the older releases of this vehicle, you got both. But the older releases of the Ram Charger are tough to find, and they're probably just as expensive as any other expensive Greenlight casting, $20 to $30 a piece. Just an awesome looking truck. You know, the way this truck is detailed, it reminds me a lot of the Dodge B100 van, which is a tooling that Greenlight inherited. So had me wondering for a while if they inherited this tooling as well, but no one else has ever released this casting, only Greenlight, so I can only assume that it is a Greenlight designed casting. So nice looking. This colors just pop together. And great detail. All right, what else did I get out to take a look at? This Dodge Ram Cummins. Basically everything but a dually here. Ram 2500 Cummins turbo diesel. The gunmetal gray. Prototypical wheels. A little bit of, I don't know what that would be, rust on the bumper. You know, I didn't really care much for these trucks early on, but as time has passed, I have really grown to like these late model pickups. In fact, there was a point, probably right around a year ago, where I sold off a bunch of them. And I kind of regret that now. Like, I don't regret, the only ones I would regret selling are any civilian deco. Those are the only ones I really feel like I want to have. But they have just excellent civilian decos on all three, the Silverado, the Ram, and the F-150. Very highly detailed. Just awesome looking trucks. And so that's it for Greenlight. I have a couple other things. I brought this out because I haven't looked at this since the day I bought it. This thing is wicked cool. And I know Greenlight just got some UPS licensing, so I don't know if they're going to do this truck or not. I know they're doing the box truck. I'd love to see them license this truck. But honestly, like, if Greenlight were to do this truck, this is pretty much exactly how I would expect it to be. Although I wouldn't expect it to be this heavy. This is a very heavy casting. And I'm going to put you on hold one more time because I'm going to try opening the back. I don't have my hobby knife, but I do have some tweezers. So it's like it wants to open, but I'm just afraid. You know what I need is my needle nose pliers, which I have right here. So as long as this little handle is part of the casting, I'll be okay. But if it's plastic, it's going to come off. I don't think that's supposed to open. I feel like it would not be that difficult to open. That's so weird, though. So weird. it really wants to open, but it's just not. And I could force it open. I really could. But I feel like it's not supposed to open, and if I do that, something's going to break. And I like this truck too much to risk breaking it. You can already see a little bit of damage I did. This is just a nice truck. I mean, only one thing could have made it better, and that's lensed details. But it's super heavy. It's a brick. It's a nice roller. It's got real soft rubber tires. It is a true dually. It's an all metal construction, so the entire box, the entire base, all metal. Super heavy. Feels like it's loaded up with packages. And it's just very well designed. It's nicely proportioned. It's scale accurate for 1:64. The lensed headlights and taillights is the only thing I think that really could have made this better than it is. Look at the cab in there. It even has that tin metal panel wall. I mean, even the floor. Look at the floorboard. That is crazy. That's a ton of detail. See, that door doesn't open. Not a separate piece. The rear door is definitely a separate piece. This front doors are not separate pieces. They look kind of like they might be because there's separation between the cab and the box right here. Two separate castings. And then, of course, you have the awesome UPS deco, the brown and gold, the black steelies. I love this truck. It wasn't cheap. I got it probably 6 or 8 months ago at an antique mall for $20. And I think that's about what they sell for online. There's not a lot of them out there. But just to give you a scale reference, here's the Greenlight International flatbed. And there's the UPS. It is spot on scale. Spot on scale accurate. And I'm definitely glad to have it. I hope Greenlight does that truck at some point now that they have the UPS licensing. But I display this with my Greenlight because it just fits right in. I mean, it looks like it belongs. Really cool truck. So there's that, and only a couple more that I brought out. I brought this one out because, you know, this is a fun one to take a close look at from time to time, even when it's dusty from the shelf. One of the nicest 1:64 classic Mustangs. To me, the only one I like better is the Auto World Mach 1. This thing just looks amazing. The stance, the color, the detail. Ertl American Muscle. It does not have any lens detail. It's all painted detail, but it's very nicely done. Not all of those American Muscle castings have lensed headlights. Here's one that does have lensed taillights. What year is this? I think it's a 69. 69 Cougar to go with the 69 Mustang. Both from American Muscle by Ertl. The only weakness of these cars was the wheels. It's the only drawback to me. The wheels just leave a lot to be desired. Everything else is pretty much perfect on these, though. I don't think I've looked at this one on this layout either. Alright, what else did I get? Only a couple more cars. Well, these are kind of different for the theme here. Mazda RX-5. There's a car you don't see every day. This one here, made by Konami. Great color. The champagne gold. Nice prototypical wheels. Lens headlights and taillights. Cool car. Here's the same car with a little bit of aftermarket thought. Fender flares, an extravagant paint job. This one does have side view mirrors. Pretty sure these are the same year. The detail is pretty exquisite in both castings. The gold one, as I mentioned, is Konami. The pink one is Aoshima. Both of those are Japanese brands. Aoshima still does make diecast. Konami hasn't made diecast, at least not 1/64, for quite some time. And I don't think any other brand has done this RX-5. TLV didn't do it. Kyosho didn't do it. I don't know who else would have, other than TLV, Kyosho, Konami, or Aoshima. That is just an awesome looking car. I love this color. This color just screams out. And I love the stance on these Aoshima cars. I've only got 3 of them. I've got an RX-3 Mazda. I have this RX-5 Mazda, and I've also got a Toyota Carina. And if you like customized, slammed, lower to the ground JDM stuff, Aoshima is a brand that you should take a look at. Really cool stuff. They do a lot of Skylines. They do some 240Zs. They do Mazda RX-3s. They do classic Celicas, classic Nissan Laurels, Nissan Cedrics. They just do a lot of really cool stuff, and it's all custom stuff like this with the fender flares and the aftermarket wheels. So pretty cool. They don't all roll. This one does. It rolls forward. Doesn't roll great backwards, but it rolls nice going forward. They do have rubber tires with tread. So pretty cool, I think. So anyways, kind of an interesting assortment of diecast here. I try not to discriminate, but there are some brands that I do discriminate against. Greenlight is not one of them. Neither is Ertl or Aoshima or Konami. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video on that note, but if any of you are interested in a couple of awesome Greenlight Fox bodies, hit me up on Instagram. Or if you're interested in this black Kyosho Ferrari or this Kyosho Honda City, if you're interested in either of those, holler at me on Instagram. Nothing else is for sale at this time. Thank you all for checking it out, and I will holler at you at the next Diecast video.